I was making beats on Audacity. I had the audacity to make beats on Audacity. I don't even know what I'm doing now.
Stepping lightly, we do this nightly. You're all up in my dreams. When we wake up, we making movie scenes that no one else can see.
I'm gonna go ahead and wait. Wait till you're ready. You there, brother?
Okay. How are you? God bless you. How are you?
So you wanted to make an entrance. That's all right.
I actually went out and I came back in, but bless you.
I like how you did that. That was smart.
Pray, don't worry.
Well, so just a quick introduction. My name is Biancajenea, and this is my brother.
Blaine Goodwin.
And Blaine is a very talented musician, pianist, producer, audio engineer,
African American.
um, based in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we just wanted to talk about a bit about like our creative process in general. But I really wanted to highlight some of the things Blaine's been doing recently. I told you this, and I say it again publicly that I feel like a lot of things you're doing are like a blueprint that it's really important to share the way that you're moving and the place you're coming from creatively because I think it's been really inspiring me, and I know it will inspire others. So, um, what do you have to say?
Really well done. First of all, thank you for having a conversation with your brother, and thank you for your professionalism, just a really complete thoroughness in your research of um, your interview. No, thank you, Bianca, for real though. And so it all boils down to I want to,
Well, first, can we back up and talk about how long you've been doing music? Your origins with music. Did you always know you wanted to be doing this, that kind of thing?
I don't even know what I'm doing now. When I was a kid, I used to love to create things, and I remember like being really young. I just I wanted to be a composer. I was joking with that with a client the other day. That I wanted to be a composer. I was in the studio. I was talking about that. I was like, I didn't know that producers existed. Like with digital production, I thought literally like you go, you write a symphony, you write a concerto, you would get proficient enough where you play it, and people play your music like sheet music, because that was my like understanding of what composition was. And I played an orchestra, and thankfully, in public school they had a double bass. So I was able to. I had to. Everyone else had to like rent instruments. You had to buy the instrument, rent it, and everything. It's like it was so expensive that they're like, "There's no way he's gonna rent this." The public school just gave us the bass, so we would always have a bass to rent from the school itself. Whatever old instrument they had. Strings like that high off of the bass. But you really learn to play, and you get around people playing instruments. As a musician, it's important. I'm so glad that's my background. Other than that, like being like 10 around the same time. My uncle had GarageBand. Uncle Tori had GarageBand on a computer. He would pick us up from school and have like the most ridiculous beats playing. And, when I was like 11 or 12. But he would have made the song that day, which I thought even then was like, that's awesome. Like you made that song today. He would do loops. Like he would do loops and he would, I remember one time he caught me like singing, like kind of like Drake singing, like, oh, about a girl. I was like in fifth grade. And he came in the room, in his room, like I was on his, like making beats. He's like, no, stop that. He was like, no, you're not gonna be on my computer and making noise. He said, you make beats, but don't be in here doing that, bro. So we really had a lesson of just not simping early in life. No, but he really did like show me how to make. He gave me an opportunity to start making beats in that time. Of course, in high school, I would like start digging into digital production for the first time, like, and I was digging into like mostly like Notefly again, so like, you know, just score, stuff like that, scoring music. I wasn't like really producing. But I remember like 16, I was. I started getting like LMMS, which is like Linux multimedia, I think. It was like a free, like Fruity Loops knockoff, then like F Fruity Loops, and then of course GarageBand when I could have a Mac. Audacity. I was making beats on Audacity. I had the audacity to make beats on Audacity. And Bianca, I'm like, oh, those are the beats I would show to family and friends and people in my school, and they'd be like, "There's no way you think this is good, bro." I was like, I don't think you should really ever do this in your life, man. But I'm glad you made. One thing I remember, some people were like, "Bro, at least he made something out of nothing. Like he made that, bro. So y'all don't need to like pick on him." I remember one of my friends, like in high school, said, "I was like, yeah, it's really cool." He said it. I was showing it to everybody that was already on marketing. Like I would literally like go on DM, just send people beats. Like they did not ask. Like it wasn't even a song. It was like a horrible beat. I was just like, "Hey, check this out." Like, bro, like who would just send his beats? Like I wasn't even trying to get those clients. I was just sending them the beat. But no, I definitely got introduction to production in that way. But in a serious note, by the time I was like 17, I'd already been like 5, 6, 7 years of creating. And I went to not at that level, but definitely like digging into it. I remember being in college, I got around hella people that were like playing at a really high level of proficiency, like people from South Korea that were playing like piano, like the professors that were like had their ears trained and stuff, and they recognized the theory a certain way, and they were kind of pushing that really hard for the music students. I was on a music scholarship, but the reason I went is because there was a recording studio in right by the office. The person that did double bass, he also did media integration, and also did like recording techniques and stuff. So he basically taught audio production. So his office was the studio, like really right there. So when I auditioned, I really didn't, no, not diminish double bass. I love double bass and really love playing. Looking forward to playing soon again, but it was a studio. I saw the studio in there and I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to come here and play and record. So that's what I did, sophomore year of college, which I pretty much perpetually stayed a sophomore. But I literally would just go into a recording studio whenever before it was open, 5 a.m. to like 9 when they had class. After class, 10 a.m., whatever. So like around lunch, like 12, 1, after I'd eat, I'd just go until like 9 p.m. Then I would like go do whatever else I was doing, and I would just play the piano every day. Before I did that, I was just piano every day, like 4, 5, 6 hours. But outside of that, and this is kind of the last thing, I know it's kind of long winded, but
No, tell your story.
the piano was how I learned to heal myself and learn to emote because at 14, 15, I was in, mental hospitals a lot, and not just in mental hospitals, but like going through a lot of trauma and the emotions of crying. It was very challenging for me to cry. So when I would sit at the piano, I would literally play, and that's how I would emote, and that's how I'd be able to cry, have the emotion of crying again, and sometimes able to actually physically cry again. So it came from, um, it was that healing, and that's a blessing. I would do the healing, the healing and playing, and what music became to me, and writing music became a way of reclaiming my autonomy, reclaiming my spirit in a way. So I got really good at just playing, and I take an idea and bring it to life without really almost auto consciously. So by the time I went to university, this is like 14, 15, 16, 17. It was like I was like 17, 18. By the time I was 19, I was already making like hundreds of songs. Like I was going in there and make like 20 beats a day, 20, 30, just different ideas, get them into a form, move on to the next idea, and just get everything. And just learning audio engineering. Because that's also, I was making, then I started making vocals. It won't sound it right, but I was like, I'm going to keep learning to mix. I'm going to keep like recording myself. I would go to the studio, sometimes bring friends or whatever, most of the time, even myself. And bring musicians in that were also music majors that would play on my stuff, that were better at me at instruments at that time, definitely. So it was like, that became a like a training ground in a way of UNCP and that studio there. And I don't know anywhere else I'd have access to a professional studio for like 12 hours a day. So that became kind of the pillar for my music production side of things. And I just kept building tracks. Like there's hundreds of gigs that I don't have from that time, but the experience and value from that time is kind of transcendent. So when we move on from that, college, I have a traditional experience. I still, kind of battling mental health a lot, but overcoming the challenge. built some startups and stuff like and things like that. Built a really healthy startup with that kind of operated as like a taxi service. When I left that is when I went to about a year later after another reclaiming of my health. I came to Charlotte, and by the time I go to Charlotte, I'm auditioning for studios. They just see hella work, like hella music, whatever it is, like on my Instagram. So like, oh yeah, he can come in here. Got a job at a recording studio near Bates Ford, and kind of based there, and would work at Amazon in the daytime, work at the studio, and so from there I would still do the same thing. I got really good at bringing clientele into the studio, and I was good at marketing because I'd run a startup, so that was kind of like congruent. So from there to now, through all the ups and downs, is a process of renewal to create and kind of feed the music in a way. And it's like you don't want to just take from the music. You want to, I feel like it's my responsibility to create and produce high quality and large volumes of work to say thanks in a way for being able to play and communicate my ideas the way I've been able to learn. And, being able to practically, be a kind of practitioner of that through content, through music and everything. So with the healing part as well being a big focal point. But shit,
Yeah,
I
no,
I was like, that was pretty long, Bianca. I'm not gonna lie.
there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of history that you have with music, so there's a lot to share.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. And it's really interesting, to kind of hear, because I know you, and my brother, so I lived through a lot of stuff with you, but to hear all like that was really interesting for me too, because like, oh yeah, that is how it played out. But to get some of my backstory, um, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking of based off what you just said, because one, it brings up memories, because, you know, I remember a lot of this stuff, but my backstory is that when I was watching Uncle Tory make beats too, I kind of knew immediately that I wanted to make music, like same as you, because it was like I would watch him on GarageBand. I would just be like, I was around 10, and I would just be like imagining I would be tapping on the desk like the drum beat that I would want to make if I was the one recording. But he was kind of particular about his computer, which I understand because we were kids. So it was like a dream of like one day I'm gonna have GarageBand. And I was a kid, that was my dream. Like I just dreamed about having GarageBand. That's all I cared about. And but I know that I like tapping on stuff. So then in middle school, I joined band, I joined percussion. Everybody else like in our family did orchestra, like you played bass, and our two older sisters played violin, and I wanted to be different, but I also really liked drumming. And I always wanted a drum set when I was a kid. It was garage band and a drum set. It was the two things that I was like fixated on. But then I remember one time Bree went to Belize on a trip and she came back with guitar. And then I was like, what's that? And then I started to be like, um, really wanted to play guitar, but younger sibling stuff. Brianna's 6 years older than me, or older sister. And so when I was like maybe 12 and I wanted to play her guitar, she was like, no, you can't touch my guitar, bro, because you're gonna break it. And so it became like this determination in my mind, like I gotta play it. And eventually, a little bit after that, I would sneak and play her guitar for a long time. If she wasn't home or something, or she wasn't paying attention, I'd go to the room and just play her guitar, figure out chords and stuff like that. And eventually, I got my own guitar. And I can really say guitar is my first love. Like I fell in love with guitar. I was, I just love playing. I love learning new stuff. And um, then one of our mutual friends, Mitchell Lowry, he came into the scene and he taught me so much on guitar. He was like my first, he really believed in me, and that meant a lot to me. And he took the time to slow things down and show me stuff on guitar, and he really elevated my playing. And it always meant a lot to me that he took me seriously because I was a kid. Um, and the way that we used to, it's really cool how we were kids and we always loved music. So we used to rap battle. We would just we would just rap battle felt like for hours. And we weren't really good at it, but it was fun. We were just having fun. And then Blaine, he didn't get to this part, but he kept going with the rap battles to the point that now he just bust out these flows like Buster Rhymes. Just like, you got something to say about that?
In college, I mean, I was still trying to like rap, but I wasn't good. Like I remember like confidence and plays a big role in like going to your improvisational state. So like, I would just be counting, like just counting. Like they start rap battling. We used to rap battle like hella rap battles, like Desmond, me, a few other people at at the university, like students and RAs and stuff. One time I was late for a math test, I was trying to rap battle somebody. I was like, "Bro, get out of here, bro!" I was like, "What are you doing?" But I think that actually is kind of more recent, like the last couple of years, like kind of actually getting confident and good at rap. I think it's mostly just like I have something to say, you know what I'm saying? Which is actually maybe the biggest part. Like if you don't have nothing to say, you really shouldn't be rapping. And like, you have something to say, you know what I'm saying? Some people don't have nothing to say, and it almost can become a lot because I have a lot to say. I'm not gonna lie, like it's easy. It's better for me to rap because I have so much to say, you know. So like,
I almost feel like you should put a beat on and just let me finish my story. Like, let me finish saying what I'm saying. Find a beat, and I swear, I just want you to do like 15 seconds or something of how you rap. I'm not kidding.
I appreciate the shout out.
I'm not kidding because I can't explain what you do, and it's almost like you have to see it to believe it. But I'm gonna keep going with just like my backstory real quick, and then I really, if you feel comfortable, I think that'd be fire. But something for the kids. But
Blaine, come on, let's be serious now. Put on a picture, different a movie, and take it back and make it a groovy. Groovy shoe, I take it back and slip left, and then I did my Suvi. Sipping my Sprite, I'm doing my thing. Something like Cola, wearing the ring. Something like Blaine, something like me, something like Kane, something like ouch, something like doing my thing. Damn, thinking of house. Hey, then I said, dang, no, I was up in the house, 2008. I'm doing my shit on my plate, then I'm sitting, I'm stacking and wait. Damn, I know that I'm great. I know that I'm calming it down. I know that it's stepping aside of my soul that I'm speaking it now. Hey, I'm used to the hit. I'm doing what I can, doing what I do. I see what I'm telling you. Yeah, that's why we pray at the last.
All night. I slide on the beat. All right. I slide on the beat. I slide on the beat.
That I rose above the star that Rosa Parks and had the seat. I wouldn't get up out of my place. I had to get there. Minds mistake conceptions for what it really is. The work it takes to make it happen like it really is. Hard work, hard nights, but really vision clearer still. Bigger ambitions and vision, take it back and really will yourself to understand the value that you inherently hold. I'm bold, I'm going against the test of time that's sweet as soul. That I'll never sell myself, the love inside my soul is blessing. Reaching from the place to take it back and introspecting. I mean it's going out like you can tell you in the room. The only pleasant smell of me is all the sweet perfume.
Know it. I am the movement. I am the moment. I am the movement. I am the moment. It's in the flow. I will control it. I baby I will not owe it.
You can beat up the clock, still be on time.
I slide on the beat. She say, can you stay all night? She say, what you mean? I said, if it's anything you want to
Hit
be
Mike, no, hit
tonight.
Mike. Hit the mic on this.
Get on the mind. I say it's all
Spin her
right.
down.
Come here, girl. Come. Hungry. It's okay. You need to get more on your plate. Breaks coming in every way. You gotta move on. Yeah. She not home.
Yeah.
You call. Even on your cell phone. She gone. So the nice guy. The people that you see when you need to know your reason why.
Out of my life like Michael Jackson, out of the picture Michael Blackson. Comedian joking too much, I'm taking back a different level. How you speak to me like I'm the one that crucified the Christ and devil, that transcended both on the cross. Think you join me paradise? I said I join you here tonight. The truth is I'm still on Sprite, sipping something but it's clean, not dirty, cause I like to see the light. Dark skin, sweet lady, that's the ones I like. Trying to do the best I can to make it happen all throughout the night. The morning comes eventually, and I know if you stick around with me and you wanna vibe a certain way, well I guess we'll see.
And then stop playing. Know you waiting for the one. Yo, know you waiting. Here I come.
No
Yo.
problema!
And I ain't hating, I'm saying I was feeling myself, but I gotta stop doing that.
No,
You don't need to hear shit from me.
no,
Cause you treated me differently.
so it is.
Yeah.
Just playing, I ain't playing. Damn, he play piano, then he playing. Hop, 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 on the beat, I'm crazy. How you speak to me like I ain't pull up black Mercedes in the back? So far, throw it different so far. I'm going for the new style. I know that it's so different on my whole soul. I'ma speak from places that you think it's impossible to go. I speak from soul, playing on the piano. Then we calling me on Blaine. How my soul speak, speaking from the plane. High over the sky, yeah, I ran through the pain. Rain on my own. Hop the train, a train, and then I'm.
You did that with your mouth?
Yeah, I was burped, so on accident.
That was crazy, actually, though. Oh. I'm sliding like I'm on skates.
Wait, you killed that.
Like I'm on skates.
Damn.
I know you wanna hate. I won't hear a thing. Inside in my soul. And I can be your man. As long as it takes. You don't even know. Yeah, you don't
Hey.
even know.
What was someone in the studio for 30 whole days? And I mean like Nigo, Chef, Pharrell, take it back a beat like we go, hey, nerd, N-E-R-D, know this B-L-A-A-I-T-E, crazy when I go on beat and I'm free, know that this different is Blaine to G, how you speak to me like I'm not one that made it my soul and you say that you hate it, I'm the one making this shit and I'm greater than Alexander called it great, Blaine is the one he called it the greatest, I take my soul back and I know that I'm fake,
Yeah.
they can't say
Respect
nothing.
everything that you're doing.
You too.
Respect everything you're pursuing.
Yeah.
Can't nobody see what you're doing.
I can see it crazy.
It's a vision. Visionary. Go.
Still gotta do it.
You're like Migos right now. You freestyle go off for me.
Thanks, sis.
Yeah. I'm gonna start going bar for bar. I'm gonna start going hard.
Light skin girl, she look like Sabrina. Building and live on my carpenter, see it. Crazy when I speak in the soul. Speaking to me like I'm letting it go. I'm driving around in the Kia Soul with a bad thing, she a 10. I'm crazy, bipolar, two sides to my win. Two sides to my money, two sides that counts. It's crazy, that shit too big to count. I'm a crazy going up when I'm crazy the amount. Damn, look, ain't crazy the amount. I'm crazy when I speak and I'm crazy the accounts. I'm an accountant when I look. I ain't speaking something GPT, I say it when I look. I'm a steady Genesis, get on plate like a book. And I'ma speak from the soul. Saying something to me, man, I gotta let it go. You said if you were the one, okay, maybe you need another one, son. Sunshine, only when it's the sky. I'ma speak a crazy nigga, take your time. Take your time. You can beat up the clock and I still be on time.
Por aquí, para ti.
Por
aquí, para ti.
It's okay, para ti.
Yeah, I knew, but you did.
You was crazy, right?
Money moves.
Yeah, we would rap battle, and we started making stuff and putting it on SoundCloud actually. And one of the first songs I ever put out was called Sky Disguise, and it was to some kind of like really twangy, like I don't know where I found the music, but I was like everything was like vibrato, everything I hit was like wait, it's like it's kind of wild, but there's a certain style to it, and I was just finding my voice, and I was like maybe 14 at that time. So then from there, I ended up playing I was like on the lead part of the band at church, and I used to play the praise team, and that got me really comfortable playing guitar in front of other people and learning songs pretty quickly, and getting comfortable with like how you play with other people playing different instruments. And I was in band too in school, but this was like a different kind of playing with other people, people singing stuff like that, and I think that really grew me as like a person to be in the spotlight, not like it was about me, but like people are looking at you, and that's something that you have to learn how to handle. Because I'm naturally introverted, and I actually don't prefer to be like the center of attention. So it really helped me be comfortable with like being seen. And then I actually ended up getting like a weird relationship. Well, to go back, Blaine didn't talk about too much his being a pianist, but it's funny because I was in band middle school, so I knew how to play keyboard and piano and stuff. And at one point, I was better than Blaine at piano. And the reason I laugh when I say that is because when you hear Blaine play, but he took it to another level. And it's a reason I wanted this conversation, because Blaine really inspires me because the way that he committed to his artistry and the way he committed to these things that he was passionate about inspires me because my life kind of took in a path where I put some of that stuff on the back seat. And I think about, man, what if I had committed? But then I shifted to, it's not too late. But it's funny because one of the first songs that me and Blaine wrote together,
Your baby,
um,
like technically, like you don't have to view it like. So I'm thankful you said that because you're really younger than you might think you are. I'm not saying it like that, but you don't have to like. You know what I'm saying? I think it's something a lot of people might think about, like, oh, am I too old to learn? Like, bro, like, just do what you want. Don't complicate it to be like, it's like, I'm not saying you're doing that, but it's not good because it's more effective. Like you say, it's way more useful to be like, okay, but now I can learn it. So, or now I can like tap into what I know I can't do and, reach those heights. So don't feel ever discouraged in what your path is.
yeah, and I do view it as like you inspire me. It's more like I'm encouraged because like that's possible. Like, oh, that's possible. And it's one of the first songs we ever did together was Rainstorm Fall. And I think it was like E minor. What are the chords?
We do a short blessing with that. So, hit it then, dun, 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 dun. So F,
Right.
F major seven, E minor seven, and then D minor seven.
So I don't think those were what I originally showed you. I probably showed you like basic triad, E minor, F, D, because that's what I knew on the piano. And this is like the first song I showed you, and you learned to play it. And now, you took that and you just took it all the way. Um, I wish we could show you playing piano. Maybe we can do that too. But so fast forward all the way, throughout my time as a musician, I leaned into songwriting in the last few years, put out a few projects, and where we are now is that well, where I'm at now is I'm leaning into my producer side, and working on getting into spaces of performing live, and putting myself out there in that way. But one thing that I really wanted to highlight that we did recently was it was awesome because making music with my brother Blaine is one of my favorite things. It takes me back to our childhood. So we've done it our whole lives. So to be at this stage in our lives and creating at this level is something different. And Blaine, if you want to walk us through your thought process, because you really did kind of musically direct the project. So I want you to talk about your inspiration and why you approached it the way that you did.
So for late bloomer,
Yeah, for that season of music that we just made.
I know that, like when you go and you play and you just sing, it kind of like become a backbone of what I love to do, which you just play and you sing. Um, but I wasn't used to do it the same way, playing and someone else is singing and someone else is creating with you and collaborating and also building their songs. And I've done it before, but it wasn't like in that way. So I was like really happy to do that. But it comes from I was in the studio just playing and singing a lot, and just whatever come from my heart, I would just sing, really catch the feeling. Tunings that talk about Mitchell, he'd always do alternate tuning, so that was kind of like the use of pitch to bring a new depth of emotion was dope. Like with the piano, we create a new pitch center for every song, so we're creating a new, completely new, energy, bring something fresh. You just play. We learn to play so we can forget how to play in a way. You learn to play so you can forget what it's like. You don't make money so you can count on money. You know what I'm saying? You make money, the value is separate from the quantification on the way, is what I'm saying. Like the value of the music is separate from the actual names of the chords and that you're playing that chord or you're playing that sound. No, you're playing the music. So you sit down, you start playing, someone's singing. That's really music to me. Someone's playing something super, super created and formulated. To me, that's more of a performance, and it was music at one point. It might be music to someone hearing it, but the realest music is always, created fresh. So really, it was more playing music. I'm just on the phone with you. Like I gotta calm down a little bit.
No, I think this is just your personality. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's a great thing, and it's part of what I want to showcase too. It's like who you are as an artist, but you bring who you are to be an artist. So it all comes together, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
We bless you.
But
Next. I'm
yeah,
joking around. I'm
I
joking
think what
around.
you said is,
Like next.
for me, I can sometimes get caught up in and I've said in the past, I get caught up in the formulaic mindset of like performative artistry, right? Like I want it to sound like this, and but something that hit me recently is like, to back up a little bit, when I was younger, I was told I couldn't sing, or I got made fun of. Kind of, you experienced that too. Like you got made fun of when you're making the beats and stuff like that. And so it made me kind of shy about my voice and singing. So I got kind of like perfectionistic about singing and wanting it to sound perfect every time. But then I understood it recently as like sometimes what we think is a wrong note or a bad note, or why do I sound like that when I sing, or why do I sound like that when I play? There's something out there that's like, wow, so glad somebody finally hit that note.
Right.
I'm glad somebody finally is in that rhythm. Somebody's finally feeling that thing. And that is what I came through speaking to and
And
talk about.
go
Hmm,
ahead. You understand it now. No, but go ahead.
That's what hit me. I was like, there's no, and it's kind of like something Jacob Collier said. He said, there's no wrong notes.
There's no wrong notes. Definitely something you would say.
And what is the other saying? I can't remember who said it, but it's like if you hit a wrong note, the next note you play is really important.
Right. No, it is. Because you create context. And I remember, honestly, it was somebody that, was a great pianist. Um, they were playing clusters, like cluster chords, where it was like, in my head, I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but it sounded really good. So getting past the it has to be this or has to be that, even on a theory way, like I think that a lot of times people think that if you learn all the chords, then you know how to play. It's like you learn all the chords, then you have a chord vocabulary. But learning to play is not, learning to really play is about what your heart feels. You can allow yourself to get out of the way long enough for the instrument to speak. And
Uh,
what, go ahead. God bless you.
why do you feel you said that real music is fresh? Why?
For something to be music, in a way, it has to be new. It has to be something that is unique, and it can't be something that you've heard before. And I'm not saying it's something that's formulaic. It isn't music, but it's more of it's like you have the lemonade concentrate where you pour the lemonade powder, then you pour the water. That is lemonade, but it's not the same. You take a lemon and do it. That's fresh lemon every time. If you get a fresh lemon made from Chick-fil-A, for example, you know that they use lemons at one point. You can tell that there's some real lemons in there because it's a certain delicacy. Or if you get a Simply Lemonade versus a Minute Maid, no disrespect to Minute Maid, if you get a Minute Maid or a dollar drink, that is not a lemonade. That is a lemonade based drink. When it is something that is like instruments being played and real musicians creating, but then it's formulated a certain way. That is no, and the best recording studio, the best professional recording artist, they find ways to make it feel that way, even if it's formulaic. It needs to feel new. So they might do something like, replay the bass so it's live, or even if it is a whole, you know, computer generated thing, the vocal might have a lot of soul and feeling. Because people don't care about how technical or how simple it is; they just want to feel it.
Mm.
Even if it is very technical, it should feel good and should connect with the soul. If it's very simple, it should not lose in its simplicity the nature of texture or energy that would add the feeling. So the reason I really stand by, if it's not really created right then, it's more of a lemonade based, it's more of a music based experience. But music is always new. So they're doing more Pokemon. He's like, that's not a Pokemon, it's a Pokemon based character. It's
Oh
like,
no. Wait, we're gonna have to hop back. Okay, we have 10 minutes left and then
no,
we'll hop back on.
hey,
No, not cutting you off at all. Um, I think it's a really interesting perspective, and I think that has a lot to do with how you approached um how you approach the creation of what we called late bloomer studio sessions, and we actually have two other creations that we made. And what we did is, to give context, is we went into the studio. Blaine said, "What if we did a live album today?" And I was like, "Okay." He was like, "You just sing and just play and hit record." And we just for an hour, Blaine played the piano. It was all just from I would say from our heads, but it wasn't like that. It was like a deep connection to myself. I felt a deep connection to higher energies, and then obviously you have to be tuned into each other to be able to. It's like you can't talk to each other and be like, "Oh, what note are you about to play?" or "What key are we in?" or "Are you about to change the song?" It's more like you just have to feel it so deeply that you just get in the rhythm of whatever the moment is. You have to be really present. And so Blaine was orchestrating all of the chords, all the progressions in the moment. And I was actually really surprised about the lyrics that were coming through me because there was no premeditation.
You need to go in DistroKid and do the auto detect for lyric so that you have all the lyrics on there because that's a different type of royalty I had to realize too. For the lyrics to be printed, there's a preprint royalty, like when they put it on Spotify and someone look at the lyrics, that's a royalty. So you need to do that. I've been doing that on my songs.
You're
So
right. I've done that for some previous stuff. That's so this is just is great. No, I think it's like just really capturing our dynamic of like you're my older sibling. So
no, but it's not embossing, but just
no, it's not boss, you're just looking out.
there might be also there's admin situations like Sony admin through BeatStars Pub. They collect international royalties where DistroKid doesn't. I don't think DistroKid collects the same type of mechanicals and the same. I think they collect a little different type of royalties. So they have a few other ones like that one, like it's like an admin situation. BeatStars one has it where they take 20%, but they do get good. They do a good job. I have made money with them, like actually like a couple $100 from mechanicals from songs that on the master side didn't make that in my understanding. So I was kind of confused almost, but I'm not gonna snitch on myself. But whatever they were doing, no, like someone sampled my song in Holland and like played it in a DJ set, and they paid me like over like $80 just for that one performance because there was a lot of people there.
What
So
song was it?
it's a song that really had like no strings. It was at that time. It was, don't you know? Yeah, yeah. Don't you know? Yeah, yeah. No matter what you do, girl, I got you. And no matter what you do, girl, I got. Is that kind of like
That's a deep cut.
uh,
They call that a deep cut.
oh, special selection?
I don't know that song, but I think to come back to um what I really wanted to talk about with this conversation is your approach to artistry. And one thing that brings up for me is one, the realization the other day we were talking and that um I realized that like I was like my brother's an international star. Because you were looking at your
Uh,
Spotify. No, you are. You are. You were looking at your Spotify demographics and you were talking about I have people in Paris, I have people in London, I have people in New York, I have people in LA. And I was like, he has an international audience. And
we
it
don't want to
really,
play. We're still emerging. We're also thankful.
it can be both things can be true that you are that and you're still growing and you're still expanding. But to see how much because I was one of the people, I'll be really honest, when some of the first beats you showed me, I was one of the people laughing.
I mean, they were the first beats.
And I
So
was, at that time I was really in my percussionist bag. So I was like, "Boy, where's the rhythm?
it was
Like, where's the tempo?" I couldn't understand what was happening. And, to see you go from that to like see you on Spotify and I want you to talk about your method because there was a part of me when you first would come to me and tell me your method that I didn't believe in it. This is just me being really honest. I was like, nobody does that. It's not how it works.
well, I think that first of all, don't roast yourself like that because no one should really like try to follow nobody else. Like, so I think that's the good thing about it. Like when it comes to the beats or whatever, like if you don't like something, it don't matter if I was the hottest on the earth. If you were like, I don't understand it, you just were like, I don't like it. But at that time, it was really not more timely beats. They were more not rhythm. They were not quantized, and it was no. I didn't understand yet how to do drums, so that's what happened there. So I didn't understand. I was learning how to do electronic production, and I was like, maybe 17, 16, not probably 15, 16. So we bless you. Uh, no, but seriously, like the other part of it, when it comes to my method came from just giving myself as many chances. Like, I don't want to leave anything a chance. And I'm really big on entrepreneurship and like seeing entrepreneurs did their stuff. I'm like, they're not ashamed to ask, saying people are like, get out there or, create a lot. And Gary Vaynerchuk put, that kind of model of like, it doesn't cost nothing to post. This time it really doesn't cost anything relatively to create and distribute your music into digital platforms. So as much as artists may complain about, hey, I don't have a direct sale anymore, you still have iTunes and stuff. So I just was like, get rid of all that thinking. I'm like, get rid of all that thinking in myself. What could I do to guarantee my success? And it's like, if you have 100 posts or reels around a song, and the song is going to YouTube, the song is going to TikTok, the song is going to Twitter, the song is going to Snapchat, Spotlight, then you're giving yourself 100 opportunities for your to build your audience. If you have 1,000 reels on that song, you have 1,000 opportunities. So instead of
Oh boy, don't know what happened. We're gonna get back in a minute. Hold on.
Some days I cry, and I don't know exactly why. Spend most of my life in fight or flight. Look into the sky, asking what I've done in a past life. I'm just trying to get right, realign. Oh, I've been trying to clear my mind, but there's nothing that you can do if I refuse to see the truth. Some days I cry, and I wonder why. Asking the sun what I've done with this life. Oh, clear my heart and mind. Oh, get in touch with the divine inside. Bear beautiful fruit from my vine.